Hello everyone and welcome to my Y&R Insider 24 update channeled in the chic reunion. Will Sienna throw a wrench? According to the Young and the Restless spoilers, Sharon Newman and the new character Sienna Bacall have a bad relationship. Sharon would be spooked by the fact that Sienna is related to Noah Newman's plot, if not more so. However, as the saying goes, where there's smoke, there's fire. Let's investigate the animosity that seems prepared to explode right now. 1. Sharon and Sienna are opposites in every way. Sienna and Sharon are nothing alike. Sharon is a concerned mom while Sienna is a hottie nightclub owner. There is something shady about her and Sharon will immediately pick up on that. In this particular circumstance, it won't be difficult to understand why opposite personalities sometimes clash. Red Hot the Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Sienna and Sharon's rivalry will bring unexpected news. Sharon had triplets and not just twins all those years ago. 2. Sienna is dishonest about Noah. Next, Sienna is dishonest about Noah, who is in bad shape. Because Sienna is such a ferocious mother bear, this alone would cause Sharon to scorch Sienna. Sienna saw Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, who had Sienna's name saved in his phone before the accident. When Nick called her, Sienna said Noah was a friend, but hung up before asking about Noah's condition. That was Sue's, so Nick meets up with Sienna soon and grills her, with Sharon not far behind. Sienna's boyfriend Mitch, who may be played by Roger Howarth, is said to be involved in the mess, making her an accomplice if she knows anything. 3. Sharon, Nick and Sienna love triangle. Fans have been calling for a chic reunion, but there may be a roadblock to that. Sienna. Sienna didn't always help with the investigation, but she wasn't the one who hurt Noah. Nick always sees the good in people, and when the truth comes out he could see Sienna in a different light. If Sienna is in trouble, Nick would leap to her defense as he has done for forlorn women many times in the past. It appears that Nick and Sharon are growing closer. Will Sienna be a sticking point down the road? Tell us what you think. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with the Young and the Restless right now. Come back here often for the hottest Y&R updates, news, and spoilers. Get comfortable and gain access to the best soap intel on the web. Noah's intensifying crisis, Daniel's dilemma, Sharon distraught. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. Things are expected to get even worse for Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, in tomorrow's episode. Meanwhile, Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, confesses to Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow. Plus, Daniel Romalotti, Jr. Michael Griside is in a moral predicament. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Make sure to check out our weekly Y&R spoilers, here. Sharon Newman distraught. At the hospital in Los Angeles, Noah is being put into a medically induced coma. The doctor is sure that the coma will help prevent seizures and additional swelling on the brain. This is making both Nick and Sharon distraught, though. Will their son ever wake up? Who ran Noah off the road and why? Read more. Find out what happened on the last episode of Y&R. Mariah Copeland's struggle. Sharon's son is in a crisis, but so is her daughter. Mariah Copeland is going through a mental health crisis and is in a treatment center. Sharon will want to be there for both of her children. However, I wonder if Mariah was really talking on the phone with Sharon, or if that was just a hallucination. What kind of mental health center allows patients to have cell phones? None that I've been in. Returning to Sharon, she is aware that Mariah requires her. At the same time, Noah's life is a bit more in danger right now than Mariah's. Mariah is physically secure as long as she is in a medical facility. So, Sharon and Nick's focus right now needs to be on Noah. Daniel Romalotti, Jr.'s moral dilemma. The Young and the Restless for Wednesday, October 22nd reveal that back in Genoa City, Daniel will face a moral dilemma. Daniel does have feelings for Tessa Porter. At the same time, Tessa is drunk and kissing him. While he could kiss her back, he has real feelings for her. Since Tessa doesn't want to do anything she regrets, I see him saying, "Not yet." Read this, The Young and the Restless spoilers. Will Sienna throw a wrench in the chic reunion? Tessa Porter's confusion. The next morning, Tessa could remember the kiss with Daniel and be mortified. Daniel will understand she was drunk and going through a lot. However, Tessa won't know which direction to turn in next. Does she release Mariah into Daniel's arms? Or does she continue to fight for her marriage? It could go either way at this point, so stay tuned to find out what happens next. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Will Sienna throw a wrench in the chic reunion? The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that Nick Newman and Sharon Newman were poised for a romantic reunion before Noah Newman's car crash. With so much mystery surrounding Noah's accident, and Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, entering the equation, will the bar owner throw a wrench in chic reuniting? Sienna Bacall's first Nick Newman encounter. The Young and the Restless spoilers remind fans that it was no coincidence that Nick was the one to take Sienna's call off Noah's phone during the week of October 13th to 17th. Nick will go digging into the reason behind his son's accident this coming week, and added teasers imply that he'll meet Sienna face-to-face during the Thursday, October 23rd show. Will Sienna and Nick get romantic? There will likely be conflict and confrontation between the two, since Nick is suspicious of Sienna and how she abruptly hung up on him. However, clashing when two characters are introduced is often a big sign that the two will end up in a romance, one just in bed, at the very least. What about Sharon Newman? With so many new characters entering the canvas, as well as soap vet Roger Howarth's debut coming soon, will Nick be the only one experiencing a fun new romance? If someone is interested in Sharon, there is always a chance that Sienna won't be the only obstacle in the chic reunion. Could there be chemistry between Sharon and Detective Burrows, who doesn't seem to be a detective? Then again, sparks could fly between her and Howarth's character. As of this writing, Wyndar hasn't confirmed who Howarth will be playing. There has been some buzz that he's the Tucker McCall, last played by Trevor St. John, recast, but nothing official has been stated. With that said, Tucker and Sharon did once share a fling, so could they rekindle some of that magic upon his return? Will Nick and Sienna hook up? Comment below. Tune into the CBS Soap Daily and check out this site often for the best Young and the Restless updates, spoilers, and news. The Young and the Restless has long been the stage for passionate rivalries, shocking twists, and enduring love stories. Chic, Sharon, and Nick Newman is one of the show's most well-known couples. Their decades-long push-and-pull romance has captivated viewers with its mixture of devotion, tragedy, and fate. Recently, spoilers have teased that their long-awaited reunion may face a new, fiery obstacle. Sienna Bacall, a seductive and secretive nightclub owner with mysterious ties to Noah Newman. Sienna's sudden arrival sparks both suspicion and desire as Noah fights for his life after a devastating crash. This sets off emotional landmines that could change the Newman family forever. The contrasts between Sharon and Sienna, the deep maternal fears that drive Sharon's actions, Nick's complicated heart, and the possibility that Sienna's presence could ignite both chaos and passion in Genoa City are all examined in this essay. This is a character-driven analysis of motives, feelings, and the perilous chemistry of contemporary soaps, in addition to simple spoilers. 1. Sharon and Sienna. Polar opposites, bound by conflict. From the moment Sienna Bacall strides onto the canvas, the contrast between her and Sharon Newman is impossible to ignore. Sharon has evolved over decades from a troubled young woman into a resilient mother and business owner. She's nurturing but no pushover, battle-tested by loss, betrayal, and heartbreak. In contrast, Sienna exudes intrigue, confident, sensual, and cloaked in mystery. She represents a new generation of women in Genoa City who thrive in grey areas, bending rules rather than breaking under them. The tension between these two women is elemental. Light versus shadow, intuition versus manipulation, morality versus survival instinct. Sharon's radar for deceit is sharp, honed by years of navigating the manipulations of people like Phyllis and Adam. Sharon's instincts therefore immediately go into high alert when Sienna appears at the edges of her son's life. She doesn't just suspect danger, she feels it. There's also something inherently symbolic about their clash. Sharon embodies emotional transparency. She loves deeply, hurts visibly, and forgives reluctantly. Sienna, on the other hand, is a vault of secrets. The energy between them crackles because they both recognize something familiar in each other. Power rooted in emotion, but expressed in very different ways. Their inevitable confrontation won't just be a battle for truth, it will be a mirror of Sharon's own past, the reckless choices, the moral grey zones, and the intoxicating allure of danger. Rumors of Sharon possibly discovering shocking family secrets, perhaps even that she gave birth to triplets, not twins, heighten the sense that Sienna isn't just an outside threat, but part of a larger destiny circling back to haunt her. 2. Sienna's deception and Noah's downfall. If there's one thing guaranteed to set Sharon off, it's someone lying about her children. Sienna's dishonesty surrounding Noah's accident makes her public enemy number one in Sharon's world. The fact that Sienna's name appeared in Noah's phone logs, and that she ended their call abruptly when Nick reached out, is suspicious enough. Her emotional distance, however, is the real cause for concern. Who hangs up when the father of a crash victim calls for answers? This isn't just a matter of deceit, it's about motive. Why would Sienna lie? Was she protecting herself, someone else, or hiding a deeper conspiracy? The possibility that her boyfriend Mitch, rumored to be played by soap veteran Roger Howarth, is connected to Noah's crash adds another layer of intrigue. If Sienna is complicit, even tangentially, Sharon's wrath will be swift and unrelenting. In classic Y&R style, the emotional fallout is likely to be as dramatic as the crime itself. Sharon's maternal instincts have always guided her actions, often at the expense of reason. Sharon fights hard when her family is in danger, whether it's defending her children from Adam's manipulation or confronting Phyllis about Nick's betrayals. Her confrontation with Sienna could mark a turning point, a reminder of how dangerous she can be when provoked. Sienna, however, isn't just a villain. She is an opportunist caught in the middle of an emotional storm. Her refusal to engage with Nick and Sharon may be self-preservation rather than guilt. Yet in soaps, perception is everything. Even if she's innocent, her secrecy could make her a scapegoat, forcing her to either ally with Nick or double down in defiance. 3. The complicated heart of a hero and Nick Newman. Nick Newman has always been a man torn between heart and duty. His love for Sharon has endured more breakups, betrayals, and tragedies than most marriages could withstand. Yet, despite his loyalty to family, Nick is also drawn to women in crisis, those who challenge him, need him, or awaken his protective instincts. Enter Sienna Bacall, the archetype of danger wrapped in beauty. Following Noah's phone call, their first meeting promises to be explosive. Nick's suspicion will collide with attraction, as he tries to decode whether Sienna is a victim or a manipulator. In true soap fashion, emotional confrontation often becomes the spark for passion. The chemistry between two adversaries can ignite faster than love itself. Nick can't resist Sienna because she represents everything he shouldn't want. She's connected to his son's pain, yet she's also magnetic in her defiance. For a man like Nick, who has spent years saving others, the idea of fixing Sienna could be both his downfall and his temptation. This dynamic introduces the possibility of a triangle, not just between Nick, Sharon, and Sienna, but also within Nick himself. Which side of his heart wins? The man who still loves Sharon, or the man who craves excitement and chaos? Every time he looks at Sienna, he'll see the mystery surrounding his son's accident. However, he may also recognize a needy individual, and this could be his downfall. 4. Sharon's emotional turmoil, between fear and hope. While Nick is drawn into Sienna's orbit, Sharon is drowning in emotional crisis. Her son Noah lies in a medically induced coma, her daughter Mariah is in a treatment facility, and her romantic life is once again in limbo. The story of Sharon revolves not only around conflict from the outside but also about her own endurance. Her resilience, tested time and again, is what makes her one of Y&R's most beloved heroines. Sharon's conversations with Nick will likely be raw and real, rekindling the emotional intimacy that fans have craved for years. Shared pain often brings them together, and Noah's condition could reignite that bond. But the reappearance of Sienna could just as easily pull them apart. Sharon's intuition about Sienna will create tension with Nick's empathy for her. Where Sharon sees deception, Nick might see redemption. This tug-of-war will force Sharon to confront her greatest fear, losing not just her son, but her family's unity. The chick dynamic thrives on passion and heartbreak, and Sienna's presence could amplify both. As Sharon oscillates between desperation and strength, she may also uncover truths that redefine her sense of self. Could Sienna's arrival somehow connect to Sharon's past? Perhaps to a hidden chapter involving her children's birth or a long-buried secret tied to the Newman legacy. In The Young and the Restless, coincidences rarely exist. Every new character is a ripple in the fabric of someone's history. 5. Noah's Crisis, the catalyst for everything. At the center of all this turmoil lies Noah Newman's accident, the tragic event binding every major character in pain, guilt, and suspicion. Noah's coma doesn't just represent physical peril, it's the emotional core of the current arc. In his absence, other relationships can develop in erratic ways. For Sharon, it's a test of maternal endurance. Nick sees it as a call to action. For Sienna, it's a haunting secret. Her interactions with Noah before the crash remain unclear. Were they lovers, friends, or partners in something darker? Her reluctance to explain suggests that she's hiding more than emotion. The possibility that Mitch, Sienna's alleged boyfriend, might be connected to the crash deepens the mystery. If Mitch orchestrated or covered up the incident, and Sienna knew even partially, her redemption arc could hinge on whether she confesses or conceals the truth. Meanwhile, Sharon's desperation for answers will drive her to extremes, even confronting Sienna directly in a fiery showdown that could become one of the season's defining scenes. 6. Daniel, Tessa, and the parallel morality play. While the Sienna-Sharon-Nick triangle dominates one side of the story, another subplot unfolds with Daniel Romalotti, Jr., and Tessa Porter. Nick and Sharon's emotional conflicts echo Daniel's moral quandary of resisting Tessa's advances while still having feelings for her. Both men are caught between desire and integrity, compassion and betrayal. This parallel storytelling deepens the episode's emotional texture. It juxtaposes the chaos of impulse, Tessa's kiss, Sienna's secrets, against the restraint of conscience, Daniel's hesitation, Sharon's moral clarity. In soap operas, themes often mirror each other across storylines, creating emotional resonance that ties seemingly separate plots together. Nick's response to Sienna's temptations may even be foreshadowed by Daniel's ethical restraint. However, it remains to be seen whether he takes that course. 7. The larger canvas, new blood and old wounds. Sienna's arrival coincides with the introduction of Roger Howarth's mysterious new character, rumored to be Mitch or possibly even a Tucker McCall recast. This infusion of new energy signals a creative shift. The writers are intertwining fresh intrigue with legacy characters. Genoa City is evolving, and Sharon, as a long-running anchor, stands at the crossroads of that evolution. If Howarth's character connects to Sienna, Sharon, or both, it could explode into a multi-layered storyline of deceit, romance, and revenge. Imagine a scenario where Mitch manipulates Sienna to get close to Nick, only to fall for Sharon himself. Such a twist would mirror the cyclical nature of Y&R storytelling, where enemies become lovers and lovers become pawns. Moreover, Sienna's shady business dealings as a nightclub owner open narrative pathways into Genoa City's underworld, a setting ripe for blackmail, drug trade subplots, or corporate takeovers. Sharon's past involvement with darker storylines, such as the mental health battles and her romance with Adam, suggests she may once again find herself entangled in danger. 8. The Chic Reunion, fated or forever delayed. For longtime fans, the possibility of a Chic reunion is both thrilling and bittersweet. Sharon and Nick are soulmates by soap standards. Their connection endures every betrayal and tragedy. Yet, each time they near reconciliation, fate intervenes. Sienna's emergence feels like another cosmic test. Can true love survive temptation, tragedy, and time? If Nick succumbs to his attraction to Sienna, it could devastate Sharon and delay their reunion indefinitely. But if he doesn't, it might finally show that he's grown up and learned from his mistakes, which could rekindle Sharon's faith in him. Either way, Sienna serves a crucial narrative function. She forces both characters to confront who they've become. Sharon, no longer the naive young woman she once was, is capable of fierce independence. If Nick strays again, she won't simply cry, she'll fight back, perhaps even forming unlikely alliances to expose Sienna's secrets. And if Sharon's suspicion about Sienna's dishonesty is vindicated, the emotional fallout could reshape not just her relationship with Nick, but her entire standing in Genoa City. 9. Thematic and symbolic undercurrents beyond the romance and intrigue. This storyline reflects deeper themes: truth versus illusion, maternal power versus youthful rebellion, redemption versus self-destruction. Sienna embodies temptation and transformation. She's a catalyst, forcing every character around her to make a choice that reveals their true self. The motif of mirrors, Sharon and Sienna as reflections of what the other could have become, underscores the generational shift in Y&R. Sharon once walked the same path of danger and desire that Sienna now treads. Her confrontation with Sienna is, in a sense, a confrontation with her own past, a battle between who she was and who she's become. The subplot involving Mariah's mental health crisis and Daniel's moral struggle further enriches this tapestry, reminding viewers that every choice in Genoa City carries emotional weight. Whether it's love, loyalty, or deception, the characters are bound by one truth: no action is ever without consequence.